Right, so we're up here today in the Gobbins. We're going to be doing some FPV filming today for the Mid East Antrim Council. We're basically going to be capturing a series of shots to be put into a series of short reels and short form videos for social media. So we're going to be doing some of the first shots, getting some incredible diving off the cliff shots, down by the water, following the people through the path, and just getting some incredible footage overall. So let's get into the first flight.
So after our first flight, we then moved around the corner to the second spot, and this is where we filmed the main staged FPV shot of the day. So we decided we would do a staged shot where we'd have one person walking up to the edge of the viewpoint, and the drone would basically fly over the top of them, dive down the cliff, and then fly underneath the bridge while another person was walking across and reveal the coastline and the rest of the Gobbins in the distance. Right, that is me taking off now.
3, 2, 1, go! I'm coming down, diving over the top. I'm pulling up. Revealing the view. Got it, nailed the shot, let's go. Oh my, that was absolutely terrifying. I was so close to the water there. Flip me.
So after this flight, we then moved around to the third spot, and this was another little bridge. So the idea for this shot was we would have the guy standing on the bridge looking out over the view. Meanwhile, the drone would then fly through the gap of the bridge and turn around and reveal the rest of the coastline. So we put up the cine whoop and attempted the shot. Now it took a couple of tries as we had to get the alignment absolutely perfect, as any wrong move and we would clip the bridge and fall into the water, and that would not have been good. So it took me a number of tries to get the drone lined up and through the gap, but we managed to pull it off and bank the shot before moving on to the next spot. Our next spot after this was just around the corner, and this was probably one of my favourite shots of the day. This was one of the famous arched bridges, and what we had planned to do was have Chris walk through the bridge as the drone flew through it with him, over his head, and then out and revealed the view in behind. Now this was quite a tricky shot, as I had a very small amount of clearance between Chris's head and the top of the bridge. So I had to make sure not only did I time it perfectly with Chris walking up the steps, but also that I made it through the gap and through the bridge without touching the edges of it. And after about 2 tries on the lineup, I managed to nail it on the second go, and I flew right the way through and nailed the shot. After the bridge shot, we then moved just around the corner to our next spot, and this is where we put up the Mavic for the second Mavic flight of the day. I was using the DJI Mavic 3, which is my workhorse drone that I use on pretty much all of my aerial filming projects. On this flight, we focused on mainly wides, followed by a series of top-down shots showing off the bridges from directly above. We also did an FPV shot at this spot, where I flew right off the top of the cliff, dived down to the water underneath the bridge. I then flew past the guys and then skimmed the water as low as possible before banking around the corner and revealing the final part of the Gobbins. After getting these shots, we then packed up and went around the corner to the final spot of the day. The guys told us they wanted to get some more FPV shots here, so we put up the 7-inch and went for a couple of diving shots right off the edge of the cliff, flying right down to the bridges. We also got a couple of shots where we skimmed along the water as low as possible and flew underneath the bridges, which made for some pretty cool shots. So one of the most common questions I get asked is, what equipment do you use on your shoots? So I thought I'd quickly run through what we use for the Gobbins. So the first thing we used was this 3.5-inch cine whoop. This right here is the Axis Flying Blue Cat C35. This is a 3.5-inch cine whoop. So in terms of the drone specs, it has the Axis Flying C224 2400 kV motors for success. It has a HackRC F722 40 amp all-in-one flight controller and ESC. In terms of the video transmitter, it has a Caddx Vista with the DJI camera up front here. And in terms of the receiver, it has the ExpressORS 2.4 Happy Model EP1 receiver. In terms of the main 5-inch drone we use for this shoot, we have here the ImpulseRC Apex DC. In terms of the motors for this build, it is using the T-Motor Pacer V3 1750 kV motors. It has the T-Motor Pacer F7 flight controller and the Velox 45 amp ASC. This drone is also using a Caddx Vista for the video transmitter with the Nebula camera up front here. And at the back here, the drone has the BN220 GPS, which allows for return to home. And the last drone we used here was this 7-inch. This right here is the Rush FPV Aquila 7. This is my most used 7-inch build, and I fly this guy all the time on both my commercial shoots and for fun. This drone is using the X-Nova 2806.5 1300 kV motors. It has a SkyStars F7 50 amp flight stack, a Caddx Vista in the back with the DJI camera, and a BN220 GPS. It is also running ExpressLRS 2.4 with a Matic diversity receiver here, which has 2 antennas, one mounted vertically up front here and one at the back horizontally. It's also using this 16cm Rush Cherry SMA video antenna. In terms of controller, I used the Radiomaster TX16S with my ExpressLRS module, and for the goggles, I used DJI Goggles V2 with the iFlight Crystal HD patch antenna. And that is it. Those are the drones we used for the shoot. Let's get back into the video. To finish off the day, we captured some final FPV shots in and around the cliff edges and down by the water before packing up and heading back to the start of the path. Once we got back, we put up the 5-inch for the final FPV flight of the day, and on this site we focused on some establishing shots, flying down off the surrounding coastline and down by the shore. We even flew up and dived down one of the waterfalls, which made for a very cool shot.
Right, so we just finished flying today at the Gobbins. We've got some incredible Mavic footage, incredible FPV footage. We've been diving off the cliffs, surfing the water, flying with the birds, getting unbelievable shots. Oh, we've now finally finished. We're now going to get back to the studio, get the footage offloaded, and hopefully we've got some pretty epic shots that we're then going to get cut up into a series of reels and delivered to the client. So I hope you enjoyed this insight into what it's like doing commercial FPV filming, and we'll see you in the next one.